How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Modern Parables podcast. My name is Tyler Sanders, joined as always by my two wonderful, lovely, eccentric co-hosts.
Beautiful.
Dude, I think it's my favorite thing to wait for the adjectives that he uses to describe
Because
us.
usually I get insulted in the process.
I've never been so encouraged in my life.
Yeah, well, I fell back on some ones I've already used before. So
Fair enough.
But
It's good to be here.
I have Noah and
Isaac,
Isaac.
nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you, too.
Oh my God.
And we have our guest today. Our guest is Dr. Emily Vermilya.
Correct.
Welcome.
Correct.
Got that right.
Would you tell us and the people at home a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Emily Vermilya. I am a professor of Christian worship here at Indiana Wesleyan. Prior to being here for the last couple of years, I served as a pastor in a local church for 20 years.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, I know. I'm old. The 14 prior to coming here were at College Wesleyan Church. I served in a variety of capacities there: executive pastor, ministry development pastor, worship pastor. And prior to that, I served at a church in Aurora, Colorado called Colorado Community Church, multicultural, multi-ethnic church in an urban context. So sort of a leap from one environment to another.
Yes.
But then some other small church settings prior to that. So I just feel like very blessed to have experienced the church in all of her glory in different environments along
Very
the way.
cool.
Let the record state that Isaac and I are her favorite students of all time.
Wow.
We had some fun in that class.
We did have some
It
fun.
was
We had
the
fun.
height of COVID, and it was.
Not sure how
it was
much
a
we
time.
learned, but it was a lot of
We
fun.
learned a lot because me and Noah like to push back on things, and then that actually had good conversation from it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what happened. All right.
Ask her. It was great. We didn't do too well on the quizzes, but other than that-
I called her mom in class one time, and So
I also did that in elementary school.
I don't know how it came out, but I think it was by accident.
That's
and it was
hilarious.
hilarious.
Oh my
It's always by accident.
But then it became a joke.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I understand you got a scripture for us.
I do. So I am going to the Gospels today,
All right.
specifically
Yes.
the Gospel of Matthew.
yeah, I've never read that one.
Oh, well, we're going to go deep today then. Matthew chapter 17, and I'm looking at verses 24 through 27.
Right.
So in my Bible, the heading is Payment of the Temple Tax.
Mm-hmm.
So starting at verse 24, on their arrival in Capernaum, the collectors of the temple tax came to Peter and asked him, "Doesn't your teacher pay the temple tax?" "Yes, he does," Peter replied. Then he went into the house. But before he had a chance to speak, Jesus asked him, "What do you think, Peter? Do kings tax their own people or the people they have conquered?" "They tax the people they have conquered," Peter replied. "Well then," Jesus said, "the citizens are free. However, we don't want to offend them. So go down to the lake and throw in a line. Open the mouth of the first fish you catch, and you will find a large silver coin. Take it and pay the tax for both of us."
Wow.
Right.
Taxes. I love taxes.
Bet you love taxes. Yes, everybody loves taxes. It's our
That's
favorite part of being an American, right? Said no one ever.
good. Oh my days. Oh my days. Okay.
You got one?
Is it on?
Is it on?
Oh, it's not on. Turn it on.
All right,
Oh, it is
guys.
on.
Here
Well,
we
this
go.
is the buzzer part.
Here we go.
Yeah, it is.
Shh. Oi, bruv.
Goodness.
Oi, bruv.
Oi, bruv.
Oi, bruv. All right, bruv. All right. So, I'm not gonna dive into necessarily like all the taxing and stuff like that, but
Right.
the way that Jesus provides,
Ooh.
right?
Ooh.
And so, a lot of times, I think in my life, growing up in the church, I think asking for such thing as like monetary things, like say for money, like asking God, "Oh God, will you provide money or provide some things like that?" was like looked down upon, because it's like just have faith and ask Him to provide and He will, which 100% true. But also the Lord does provide and meet our physical needs in the miraculous, and sometimes in kind of the mundane as well. But here we see the miraculous. Like, imagine being told to go and fish, and then you're going to get what you need monetarily with money in the mouth of a fish. You know how crazy that is? But there's so many other times that I've heard from other people where they need to pay something, whether it's with college debt or different payments with school, with cars, with houses, or things like that. And out of nowhere, the exact amount of money was brought to them or paid for, and they don't even know who did it. It happened to my family a couple times. And it's just a reminder of God's faithfulness and how he does provide in the material. He does provide materially for us to bless us, to be a blessing. And in this we see from the mouth of a fish.
It's good. Love it.
All right, bro.
This
Let's hear it,
could
bruv.
completely flop like a fish. But thank
That was
you.
good.
But I don't know. The first thing that I thought of was why ask this question? Yes, I know the whole point is to stump them, is to whatever, right? But sometimes I think in our walk, we ask the wrong question. Now, I don't know where I'm going to go with that, but sometimes I think as Christians, we're looking for a specific answer from Jesus, or we're looking for a specific way that Jesus was supposed to interact with us, or we're praying super hard, hey, God, why would you do this? But yeah, it's the wrong question. Yet I can't tell you how to discern that, but I think it's a starting spot for a potential sermon illustration.
It's good. It's good. I have nothing.
Do I
That
get
is
to
fair.
play?
You
Yes.
can, yeah.
Okay.
All right, bruv, let's hear it, bruv.
Yeah. Am I allowed to be a bruv?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to be a bruv,
I don't know what a bruv is, but so I would say that I just thought of this too. Once again, we see in the Gospels all these things that Jesus can just do because he's God, and yet he involves his followers in doing the work. So sending Peter, not only, I mean, I think you're right, ask a better question, but then involving him in answering the question, not only in going, do the work, I could just give it to you, but instead I'm going to involve you in collecting what's needed to pay the tax, and involving him in a way that was in his domain. He's a fisherman.
Yeah, true.
And so to say, I'm not only going to provide for you, I'm going to provide in the way that is common to you. You know how to do this. And I have to think there's something larger in that too, that in this fish and finding this coin in this fish's mouth, what a random thing. There's something to that, though, that Jesus is taking his profession, his expertise, and saying, be faithful in what you are called to do, and I will be faithful to provide in that for you. So there's the literal provision, but there's also something bigger that Jesus is explaining there.
Yeah, because it's interesting because Peter knows now that the next fish he catches is going to have a coin in its mouth. So if you're Peter waiting for that fish to come along, what are you thinking during that time?
Like, what if I can't catch?
Right. Exactly.
And how long did he have to wait?
Right.
True.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And if it was a net, how many fish did he have to go through to find the fish that had them?
Oh, my days.
He's like, oh no, that's the one. I dropped it. Oh no.
You just look out. Peter's like, come here, fish.
Last one in the net. I went through all their mouths.
What are you looking for, Peter? There's going to be money in one of these.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, no, that was so good. Thank you for bringing that passage to us and helping us as well, because we need it. But as you guys know, we go from scripture to start there and be rooted in it to go to the random topic generator. And so what will happen is random topic will be generated on the screen. And when we say stop, a topic will pop up. And the first one to hit the red buzzer in the middle can give a sermon illustration. So let's get to it.
I'm nervous.
All right. Stop.
Baby diaper.
Oh, my
Baby
days.
diapers.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. Oh.
I've got one. I'm in charge of a little baby once a week, and so now I'm dealing with diapers again at this phase of my life. But so I've been thinking a lot about grace and this idea that grace is asked for as a catch-all. And so the reality is, I'm thinking about diapers. They are super absorbent. Like these diapers are unreal. You can pour water into them and they just expand.
That's insane.
But at some point, the diaper leaks. And it's not that there's an end to grace. I mean, God's grace is endless, but I think it's a good reminder for us that we shouldn't just think we can just keep relying on, well, there will be grace, that there's something in our formation that has to change to be more like Christ, so that we're not relying on that expansion of the diaper to just catch everything, because eventually the sin's going to leak out.
Ooh. That's good.
I'm not following that.
Wow, that was good.
Those diapers are unreal. Those
Yes.
kids, the bottom half just looks like,
Baby
I know.
diapers.
Baby diapers.
Sure.
go.
I don't even have a thought in my head, but let's go for it anyways.
Let's see what comes from it.
All right, guys, baby diapers.
Let's hear it.
Babies, life, people is messy. You know, like
Like a diaper.
like a diaper. Sometimes the baby can't control when they poop, and the diaper's there.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna hit up the next topic.
Roll it.
Roll it, man,
Get us off of this crazy
All right.
train.
and stop. Snoopy.
Like Snoop Dogg?
Not that Snoopy. Snoopy from Peanuts,
Give
Charlie
us-
Brown.
Give us a background as you usually do.
He's a black and white dog from Charlie Brown.
Do you really not know that?
Dude, I haven't seen Charlie Brown in so long.
Isaac never knows anything that comes up on these topics. Oh my god.
All right,
Well, he knew baby diaper.
Yeah, I knew Baby Diaper. I knew what that caught. Snoopy? Snoopy?
All right, let's give it a try. Okay, so Snoopy, oftentimes in Peanuts cartoons and in Charlie Brown stuff, he goes on these wild and crazy adventures. But he always ends up getting back on his doghouse, just staring up at the sky like this, contemplating life, right? And I think, this is a stretch of a sermon illustration, I guess, but how many times do we sit and stop and reflect after some major thing has happened in our lives, especially when it comes to like our spiritual lives? A crazy adventure, crazy amazing thing happens, or even a crazy low thing happens. How often do we stop and reflect and just pause?
Yeah, that's good.
I was actually going the same way. So I had this image of Snoopy in my head of him lying on his doghouse and just staring up and at the skies, whatever. But my thought was this concept of being versus doing. And so often we're human doers, not human beings, right? And so the same idea of man, he was just chilling there, waiting, right, all the time. And I'm horrible. You can ask Isaac, I'm horrible at waiting. And I'm horrible at not doing things. I always want to be doing something. And the Lord is constantly, hey, relax, slow down. Hey, just be with me.
Yeah.
And I think that image of Snoopy laying on his back, while it's comical and he goes on these wild adventures, it starts with him waiting, and it ends with him also waiting.
It's good.
That's so good. I have a question.
Okay.
Snoopy, being a dog,
Yes.
can't talk, right?
He is silent.
Doesn't talk.
He's
silent.
silent, right? All right. That's good. That's good.
He wanted
No,
to make
I'm
sure.
glad you had to
Clarification.
clarify that the
No, I had
dog
to-
was
Dude,
silent.
sometimes in animated Scooby-Doo, bro.
Exactly.
No. So you guys talking about that? Obviously, you can tell I have no recollection of that. But if he's sitting there staring and reflecting and quiet, but can't talk, it's silent, as I'm assuming. Many times, dude, what's up with you and the mic, bro?
Sorry, I had to fix it. It was too high.
You're gonna have to-
continue. You're just
Every time I'm talking,
he's stalling. He's stalling.
no. So Snoopy, reflecting and being quiet in silence. A lot of people today can't sit with their own thoughts, and a lot of times people can't sit in silence. And it's funny that that's where a lot of people meet God. That's where God speaks. God is. Many people say God whispers, right? And the devil shouts. How are you going to hear the whispers if you can't spend time in silence,
Right.
like Snoopy did?
Ooh,
Follow
it's
Snoopy.
good. It's good.
Bars.
All right.
That's right.
Is Snoopy
it.
all drained out?
I think so.
Let's go to the next one.
The next one.
I get nervous.
And stop.
A swimming pool. This is your
What
field.
domain?
All right. Let me just think about this.
Yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm messing with my mic, everybody. It was definitely not set right. I did not set it right.
I'm definitely leaving it all in there too. Isaac ransacking you because of it.
It's good.
Hit the button.
I ain't got nothing yet.
My gosh.
Bro.
Okay, let's give it a try. So swimming
Oh.
pools have different sizes, right? So there's kiddie pools, right? Little kiddie, giant little kiddie thing. And then there's the Olympic size pools or even the collegiate size pools. For those that don't know, we are sitting with the head swimming coach, women's swim coach
There we go. There we go.
at Indiana Wesleyan. So
She's busy.
one of the other hats you wear. But so there's kiddie pools, there's collegiate pools, there's Olympic pools, which may be the same thing. I have no idea. I don't know anything about pools. But what I do know is you usually can't just throw an infant into an Olympic-sized pool and expect them to swim. I know there are those weird classes out
Yes.
there where you just throw your kid and expect them to float.
Yes.
And there are kids that die.
The
But as
baby
a
Say
result-
diapers.
note for people at home: do not throw your infant into an Olympic-sized
Unless
swimming
you-
pool.
Exactly.
Unless there's a baby diaper that has a flotation device.
That is expand. It will end its expand. It will
Exactly.
leak.
Except for the baby will be inverted in the pool. Okay. Anyway, so you can't just throw kids out into the deep end of the pool, right? You got to teach them how to swim. You got to teach them how the water works. You got to get them acclimated to the water. You got to do all these different things. So in the same way, you can't just throw somebody meat when they need milk.
Ooh,
right? You can't just do that. But at the same time, those that are ready for meat need to move up. They can't stay in the kiddie pool forever.
that's good.
I have a serious one and then a not serious one. So I'm going to go with the serious
love
one.
it.
I
Let's
feel like
go.
we have enough of not serious.
We'll take both as well.
No, you have to edit the one out probably. But the serious one would be, so I will often say I grew up swimming in swimming pools, and so I will make the statement when we're at the ocean or in lakes that I like my water manicured. I like chlorinated pools that are treated and clear, and I can see where I'm going.
You don't like the swamps.
I do not. I don't like lakes and rivers and ocean. I mean, I like to go to the ocean, but I'm okay not to swim in the ocean.
Yeah.
And there's something about that that's very telling in that there's control, right? When you're in a manicured, treated pool, I have control. I can see what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. When I get into an ocean, there's a control of force that is other than myself that I have to trust and know and understand. And so I think it's very telling of us often to want to choose the swimming pool in life where we have control versus diving into the ocean where you have to know about when the tide is coming in and going out and the rules that are beyond us, the force that is beyond us. But I think that is often what we're called
That's
to.
good.
It's good.
So in high school, my dad actually used this illustration with the swimming pool. It was like a graphic that he had for high school students that he was ministering to, and it was a perfect illustration because he had the whole spectrum. People who were all in for Christ and people who did not care at all and were there for food and just the social aspect, right? And what this illustration displayed, the pool was kind of your relationship with God, is how he explained it, just for basic terms for them. And it was, there's people in the pool swimming around, immersed in the pool. There's people sitting by the pool with just their feet in. There's people sitting on the chairs that aren't even really there for the pool. They're just there to be there, right? And then there's people on the diving board like shaking, scared to jump in, all these things. And my dad was able to use it as a thing where people could circle where they felt they were at with the relationship of God. And the cool thing was people were super honest and vulnerable with it because it gave them a picture to put where they felt, right? So you had people who'd get done really fast, either if they were fully in and like, yeah, for sure, or the people who just didn't care, right? But he saw where people were at. So he had this whole understanding of some people are scared to jump in. Some people have just their feet in. Some people are fully immersed. And then he knew how to witness to them better because he knew where they were at with this swimming pool illustration.
I'll bring us home. So as you
a lot of
mentioned,
pressure.
that you don't just throw an infant in a pool, right? So if you go to like a water park, you're going to see different people in different quote unquote like walks of life. You also see different people in like how great they are at swimming or how not great they are at swimming. So for instance, you're going to see all the moms that are like hovering over their children in the pool that are just now getting in the water.
Right.
And you're going to see the crazy high schooler trying to do a double backflip off diving board. You're going to see all different kinds of people trying different things. And just as a swimming pool has a shallow end, has a deep end, like there's different areas in a swimming pool in which more people will be more comfortable and not.
Right.
But to get to a Michael Phelps-ish level of being a great swimmer, it takes time. Right. It takes time. You can't expect a 3-year-old to beat records and swim extremely fast because odds are they're going to have enough time just staying afloat.
Right.
Whereas Isaac and I probably can swim. I don't actually know if you can swim or not, Isaac.
I can swim, but a lot of times lifeguards have thought I was drowning while I was swimming.
Okay, well, so Isaac can't really swim. I can swim, but it's taking time. And it's this illustration is taking a long time to develop, so I apologize for that. But the point is, our relationship with Jesus takes time. And to get to a point of where we're comfortable to swim on our own, it takes time to get there. It takes hours in the pool. It takes people teaching you what's going on. It takes intentional discipleship, things along those same lines. So in the same way, when you get in a swimming pool, you're not going to throw your 4-year-old at the deep end. You're going to take him down the steps, take that time. In the same way, we must cultivate a relationship with Jesus that takes time and intentionality, because you can't just come out of the womb perfect.
That's good.
Do you want the ridiculous
Yes.
analogy?
Oh,
yes.
please.
Oh, yes.
Please, you have to
Okay.
hit the button.
Oh, yeah. So in pool science, there's chemicals, right? You're dealing with a lot of chemicals. So what I've learned is that one of the worst situations for swimmers to feel is when the ammonia is high in a pool. Well, how does ammonia get high in a pool? Well, one of the ways it happens is a lot of pee.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to guess. I've raised that level up by myself before, I bet.
I have a friend who has a backyard pool, and he was telling me his pool was real cloudy, and he couldn't figure it out. He kept testing things. It was just so cloudy, so he took a sample of pool water into his pool guy, and they said, yeah, your ammonia level's really high. And he said, well, what causes that? And they said, well, it could be, natural debris falling into the pool, like leaves and stuff that decomposes in the pool. And then he said, or, it could be pee. And this friend has multiple grandchildren who are in the pool regularly. So he assumes, okay.
Yeah.
So he lines all of his grandkids up on the side of the pool, and he and his wife just say, okay, nobody's in trouble. But, and he starts naming them one at a time. He's like, have you peed in the pool? And one by one, their heads all drop. They won't look him in the eye.
Aww.
And then eventually grandma gets right in front of him and is like, Isaac, have you peed in the pool? And they slowly all start shaking their head when grandma asked them directly. And then to make sure they knew they weren't in trouble, they went to their parents, the adults, and be like, have you peed in the pool? But the point was that here's the illustration, is this idea that if the church is the pool, sometimes we think we can hide certain things because it gets diluted. But the reality is there'll always be indicators
That's
that
good.
there is someone who is not, playing by the team.
Someone who's peeing in the
Peeing
church.
in the pool.
Wow.
That's good.
Like I said, edit that out.
No,
Not really
that's
good.
Good.
That's a
That
good
was a good one.
illustration.
That
Better
was
than
a good
mine.
one.
High ammonia in the church.
That's funny. I'm glad that I'm surprised we did that well with swimming pool.
Hey, we just went round and round.
Yeah,
It's
we
good.
did. All right, let's get to the next one. And stop.
Horror movie.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, with horror movies, a lot of people go back and forth on these. You should watch them. Well, nobody says you should watch them. Sorry, I said that bad. Like you shouldn't watch them, or it's whatever. It's just a film, right? But I will say, I heard this one quote from a pastor one time, and he was talking about horror movies, specifically like demonic movies, right? That have to do with spirits and demons and all that stuff. And he's like, we shouldn't really fantasize those things and entertain those ideas, especially when he was saying, but also it can give light to the seriousness of the spiritual warfare that there is. And he goes on both sides, right? He says, one, people can see, okay, yeah, this stuff is crazy, and if I actually believe this, while it has been demonstratized or whatever, however you say that word, I can take appreciation for the fact that I need to take this seriously because it is dangerous and all this. But the other side that he points more to is that they have deceived us in what we know as spiritual warfare. Because if people see that as demon activity, right, then they're not going to know what's actually happening when it's something so basic, but they don't see some crazy thing happen that they see in the movies, right? And so with a horror movie, it can almost desensitize us to what true spiritual warfare is. Because if we don't see the big guy with horns running around, we don't think the devil's working, when it can be something so much more simple.
It's good.
So I think we can all resonate that when we watch a horror movie, we just get frustrated because they continuously make the wrong decision, right?
Oh,
Like,
Why are you going into that closet?
yes.
Don't
Have you
look under the bed.
Have you
guys
seen
seen
that
that
commercial? Yeah. Like, hey, we should go hide with the chainsaws.
should we go in the running car that we
Yeah.
can get away in? No, let's go behind the wall of chainsaws.
I'm just like, why would you do that? I watched a movie this past weekend. It's a thriller with my roommates, and I'm not a huge fan of thrillers or horror movies. I usually don't watch, but actually, I was doing my devotional and they threw on the movie, and I was like, well, this is ironic. But they were watching this movie, and I was just like, why? I'd be out. I would have left an hour ago. Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
But I think when we also read the book of Hosea, and we see that illustration of Hosea and Gomer. Is it Hosea? No. Yes.
Hosea and
Hosea
Gomer.
and
Yeah.
Gomer, yep.
And we see that illustration of just continuously, like, being unfaithful. And it's the same way in which God sees us when we continuously do the wrong thing. It's so frustrating. Like, if you've ever watched Redeeming Love or read that book, it really depicts, you get frustrated. You're like, why is she continuously cheating on her husband or running away or not doing this or that? And it kind of clicked like, oh, that's me and God.
Yeah.
Like I continuously do that all the time. And I think it's the same concept with a horror movie. They continuously do the wrong decision. And you're like, well, you face the consequences, and that's kind of what happened. But I think that's kind of the same, on the same vein.
That's good.
It's good. Got nothing with that.
Hey, that's
Just
okay.
gonna
We can
I
move
don't
on.
like horror movies.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And
Yeah.
stop. Ski lift. I've never skied
I
before in
haven't
my
either.
life.
Dude, I will say
I have, but
just
it wasn't
on the
pretty.
record, getting off the ski lift, so hard. If you're on a snowboard.
Oh, okay.
Skis, that's easy. You can just go. But snowboard, I fell so many times.
That's
Fell so
funny.
many
I mean,
times. Oh!
if I had to come up with an analogy, though, I think that that moment where you're standing waiting for the actual lift to get under you at just the right place for you to sit back, and you got these big bulky skis on, but you're just if I just stay still, and the tendency is to want to like watch for it. Sorry, I'm going to get away from the mic. Watch for it, turn around. What? I'm not turning around. It's like I think this is visual. And they tell you over and over again, just get to this place, get your skis forward, and wait for the seat to come and literally get under your buns and pick you up. Like it will lift you up. That's why it's called a ski lift. But the temptation is to, again, I think I have a control problem, to take control of the situation and see it coming, get myself in a better position. And every time you do that, you get knocked over, you fall down. It's a rocky start. And I think that the analogy then would be, it's the same thing. Get yourself in the right spot where the Holy Spirit can do its work, and then trust that the lift will happen in the right timing,
Ooh,
in the right way.
That's good.
That's
good.
good.
I don't know if
like
it's
it.
good.
No,
but
it's good.
That's
we
I
can
like
move
it.
on if no one else skis.
I got it.
Okay, good.
Okay, so with the ski lift, as you were talking about, to get on it, right? The only thing that you have to do is, in a sense, follow the rules and just sit there and trust, right? Trust that the ski lift will take you. That's the only job that you have to do. You're my guy. You're hyping me up. Let's go.
Here we go.
So the only thing you have to do is trust the ski lift to do its job.
Get
to
'em.
take you up there.
Get him.
Now, I have actually seen when I went ski lifting, I knew these people have never been skiing before because they were going down the mountain and they were on skis and they're trying to go back up the mountain.
It was probably me.
And I was like, there's
She
a
didn't
ski
trust the
lift.
ski lift. She's like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, there's a ski lift right over there that can just take you up so you can go again, right? The ski lift does all the work. All you have to do is trust it. And the same thing with the Lord is you can try to go up the mountain or whatever you want to use for an analogy. And it can be a lot of work that you do by yourself. But when you just trust in the Lord, he is the one who does all the work. You know, trust in him. And he will, his yoke and his burden is light, is easy.
It's good.
His ski lift.
It's a ski lift. No, but that's my 2 cents right there. Our job is just to trust.
Now is the time of decision. Bro, relax.
Bum, bum.
I just touched the mic a little bit. That's it.
Let's go to the next one.
Stop. A tornado.
I had to give a presentation about tornadoes in Costa Rica in Spanish. Just saying. Shout out. Costa Rica.
Shout out to our listeners in Costa Rica, since we scared everybody away the last
My mama
time.
Tika has listened.
Oh.
So I'm from Oklahoma, which
Mm.
means Tornado
Dust.
Alley, which means everyone is aware of what tornadoes are. Whether you like it or not, you are going to have an encounter with tornado, or you will somehow be impacted by it. Now, I have talked to people at Indiana Wesleyan, and they're like, yeah, you have tornadoes? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, they freak out at even just the mention of it. And I'm like, oh, it's the most normal thing in the world. And in the same way, when a sin becomes normal or becomes something that we do often, and it just becomes normal, like we just think of it as, oh, this just happens, then we become numb to it.
Yeah.
Because in Oklahoma, we'll go outside in our porch and watch tornadoes. We'll watch them form. We'll watch the wall cloud. Well, whatever it is.
To be
right?
fair, it is a barren wasteland where barely anybody lives. So.
Except you, Noah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Only Noah lives
It's
in
only
Oklahoma.
my house. Correct. But we'll go out there and we just watch it.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's not something that any child is like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Look, it's just normal. And when we continuously commit the same sin over and over and over again, I think we become numb to it, and it just happens, and we're normal, and we don't see a problem with
Yeah.
it.
That's good.
That's good. I will say that Indiana is in Tornado Alley,
Right, but
as is Florida.
but I would say that Indiana people don't see it as often.
No, that's
Have you ever
that's
heard
fair.
of the Palm Sunday tornadoes?
Should I?
You should.
That happens every year in Oklahoma, though.
No, it's true,
The
yeah.
magnitude of
Okay,
that.
bro,
Yeah.
you can't say Indiana has the same level of tornadoes as Oklahoma
I
does.
went to a place.
Couldn't tell. Nobody lives in Oklahoma to report it. So
That's right. That's
anyway,
We're gonna lose all the Oklahoma listeners.
that's right.
my
No.
mom's gonna be
Oh.
offended.
Oh,
I would say when I think of tornado in a sermon analogy specifically, I would think of forgiveness, because I think for me, I struggle with people who live like tornadoes. Just destruction everywhere they are, and I can forgive initially the damage that's done, but when they continue on in that process, that need to continually re-up. And so that's what I think of as people. I often equate people in tornadoes
yeah.
who just live their life. And I feel like I'm the one living in the aftermath of their decisions, their choices. So I think I would want to play around with that idea of what it looks like to restore, rebuild, the forgiveness concept of
That's
a
good.
tornado.
That's good. I might have one, but I don't know.
Isaac will pick you up if you don't.
There we go. I'll be surprised if you pick this one up. When I was in 6th grade, I was in something called Quiz Bowl. Does anybody know what Quiz Bowl is? It's for Brainiac, so I wouldn't imagine you two would be in it.
Wow.
Well,
What are you saying?
It's because they're pushing back.
that's right. That's right. Well, I'm about to insult myself because I failed out of Quiz Bowl too. So after the third question, I get up there. Quiz Bowl's like geography. It's all about that kind of stuff. And I get up there, and the question is, which of these states is not in Tornado Alley? That was the question.
That's
Okay.
how I knew Indiana's in
That's how
Tornado
you
Alley.
knew.
Let me tell you.
Quiz Bowl.
So
You said
one.
Indiana?
No.
Oh.
So I'm from Florida. So I was born and raised in St. Pete. So one of the answers was Florida, and I'm like, I'm in 6th grade. I've never heard of a tornado in Florida. So I'm like, Florida, and she's like, no, I'm sorry, that's not right. And then afterwards, my dad was like, dude, like all of those states were in a line, and then there was one state that wasn't in that line. What are you thinking? And so while I insult you guys, I insult myself because I should have known that, and I am an idiot. So, but anyway, so the illustration is sometimes we don't have all the information to make informed decisions. But sometimes we got to step out in faith anyway and be willing to be dumb.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's good or not. But
We are A-okay with being dumb.
That's
Just
right.
listen to our podcast.
hey, there we go. 3 out of 4 of us
was
sound
good.
very dumb sometimes.
That was good. You want me to try to pick that up?
Whatever you want to do. If you can pick up 6th grade me in Quiz Bowl, that'll be good.
You not having all the information and still made a choice is what stuck out to me, because a lot of times people can get choices down to 2 things, and they want God to give a clear answer, or else they will become stagnant, paralyzed, complacent. They won't
Yeah.
do anything. And there's a book I read that says, just do something.
Mm.
And the other day, I was listening to someone talking about the college thing, like 2 colleges. And when he chose one, that was kind of the unknown and the mysterious, right? Not the most logical. But he said later, the Lord revealed to him, he was like, it wasn't so much the decision you were making, but just what I was going to what I was going to do with whatever decision that you made.
Yeah.
The man I was going to make you into, right? And so many times we get hung up on, I don't have all the information. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to make the wrong step. It's like, you think if you choose the wrong college, like God isn't going to be there. He's just going to leave you like, you didn't choose this one, so I'm not coming with you there.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just, if the Lord does not give a clear choice to you and you're trying to pursue him with all your heart, make the decision and follow the Lord. Like, he'll lead you as you go, you know?
You picked it up. Excellent.
There you go.
Excellent.
All righty.
We are just storm chasers following the tornado
Ooh.
of God.
Oh.
That's what I hear.
Oh, my days.
But that was an invalid. She didn't hit the button.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
JK.
sorry. We're gonna have
just
to erase
kidding.
that
Told
one.
you I don't
Podcast.
play this game.
All righty. Are we on to the next one? And stop it.
Substitute teacher.
What?
Aaron.
Hey, Ron. That's the
immediately-
only
That
thing
is
that
the
comes up. Yeah.
iconic video.
Key and Peele.
Substitute teacher. Oh, my days.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, here's something that may or may not be good. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with the idea that short-term mission trips are bad
I have heard
sometimes?
this.
Oh,
Okay.
No.
So you've not heard this before?
Mm.
Okay.
When helping hurts, kind
Yeah,
of
so
idea.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So when I think of substitute teacher, right? Substitute teacher comes in and gets out, right? Whatever they say Your teacher's got to pick up the mess after the fact. I've had some really bad substitute teachers that come in and start saying all kinds of whack things. There was a history substitute teacher that came one time. I don't think they went through school with some of the things they were saying. And we had questions for our regular teacher when he got back. And he was like, where did you learn this from? We learned it from our substitute teacher. It's like the substitute teacher was supposed to hand you a piece of paper and leave, and that was it. But, so anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this, other than to say that sometimes the idea of coming in as a short-term missions team can cause more harm than good. That's all I got.
That's good.
I at least stalled enough for the three of you to come up with something better.
Okay, so substitute teacher, you talk about the relationship and the kind of intentionality just isn't there. And I mean, substitute teacher, it's a broken analogy, but sometimes we treat discipleship like substitute teaching is coming in for the one time, and if I can get them to the conversion, then I'm done.
Yeah.
Instead, it's this process of keep going and keep living life with them and helping them along the way to equip them, right? To go out and do what you did. And so it's this process, and it's pretty exhausting because it does take time. It is loving them, and that can be exhausting and tiring. But sometimes we treat it as a substitute teacher, if you will.
Yeah.
That just comes in one time and brings them to this point, trying to just teach them to lead them to conversion. But then after that, it's like throw them in the swimming pool. Going back to that analogy.
Oh, wow.
Throw them in the swimming pool.
Full circle.
You're done.
Yeah.
You did your job.
Right.
You led them to Christ, but after that is nothing else.
Right. It's good.
It's good.
Oh, Oi, bruv.
I don't really know if that went off or not. But
I got you. Oi, bruv.
I would say that we treat the scriptures often like substitute teachers. There are some we prioritize as our rabbi, our teacher, our normative instructor, and others we lesser consult, consider, and apply.
Wow. That was
Say it louder for the people in the
enough
back.
Said. That
That's
was
good.
incredible.
I'm not following that.
Dude,
right.
that's your favorite line in this podcast, isn't it?
Let's do another one.
Yeah.
And stop.
Yes.
If you eat those things, you're a goat. You're the goat. Tide Pods. You know the Tide Pod Challenge?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just saying, bro.
Wait, we are not endorsing the eating of Tide Pods.
Yeah, do not eat Tide Pods.
So don't throw your infants into the swimming pool, and don't eat
Don't
Tide
eat Tide
Pods.
Pods.
This may fail. That's how I love starting out.
But Jesus Christ has succeeded.
So I use Tide Pods in college, right?
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
you just toss.
Don't do it in the dorm washing machines. They don't dissolve.
That's my point.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, robbing your thunder. My kids have ruined so many clothes in those washing machines with the pods.
So I throw my Tide Pods in there, and so often they come out, and there's these little like stains on there, like little white stains. Now I found out if you get water and you like rub out like that stain, it kind of comes out, but not really. It leaves stains, and yet Jesus washes us clean.
Wow.
Holy cleanses. If you read the end of Revelation, you see our robes become white. We are whiter than snow. Not like a Tide Pod.
I would say the obvious analogy here would be that, like sin, Tide Pods are enticing. They're shiny. They're colorful. They would appear like a jelly candy.
And that's why we put them in our mouth.
But when you eat them, they kill you.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yes. That's good.
And you need Jesus.
Don't
Jesus
eat
to cleanse us.
Tide Pods.
Don't eat Tide Pods.
But yeah, I can't believe she was like, yeah. It leaves marks. Like, yes,
Like
it does.
plastic scum all over a pair of jeans. I'm like, you used a Tide Pod, didn't you?
Oh.
I use Tide Pods.
I currently
I'm not
still
gonna
use
lie.
Tide Pods.
Oh my.
As do
days.
I.
You're
My
not
washer
doing your
works-
laundry in the dorms, though, are you?
That's true.
Okay.
No. My washing machine actually has a special spot specifically for branded Tide Pods. So I'm sure it
you
dissolves
just
every
just
time.
toss them in like a basketball and you hope for the best.
That's what I do.
What did you just say?
So going off my analogy, does your life have a pocket for sin? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my days.
Exactly.
Oh my days.
Exactly. I compartmentalize my sin, right?
It's okay. It goes in the special compartment.
That's the part we don't
That's
talk
the
about.
flesh. That's the flesh of
Edit
my
that
life.
out.
Exactly. No, the only thing I can think of, and I really don't have any spiritual connection to this, but I'm sure there is one. The idea that it is such a thin membrane of a Tide Pod, right? It holds back this cleaning liquid that does all this magical things or whatever the marketing says, right? But there's a small little thin membrane that surrounds it, and all it takes is a little bit of water to
I've got it.
Do
It's
it!
the idea of the kingdom that is here and not yet. It's that thing that separates us. It's the reality
Yes.
of that cleaning power that is here and yet not fully discovered.
That is so good.
That's
That is
good.
so good. Way to go, guys.
Tag team.
All right. I'm not hopping in on that. Do we have another one?
Let's see.
We don't
We
have.
ran it out.
Oh,
we did it.
Dude, we got to the end. Let's go.
We've never.
Has that ever happened?
We've never.
I
done
feel like
that.
Never
I've
done.
accomplished something
I
in my
mean,
life.
that was golden. That was
good.
golden.
Wow.
good.
I'm blown. We actually literally went through all of them.
It was good.
I'm impressed.
Good
we
job.
never got to some of the ones that scrolled. Is that just what happens?
I mean, it's just a big
yeah,
pool
it's part of the
it.
yeah, it's a big
Oh.
pool of them.
I'm
Yeah.
learning.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm
Okay.
also learning. We're always learning.
Yeah, but we
so-
set aside like 8 a podcast or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
around
Yeah,
eight.
that's. I mean,
Yeah.
we went through those fast.
Yeah, we did.
So
Good
stuff.
thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I know you said that's what you get, Isaac,
Yeah,
for
I
talking
deserve
trash.
Talking with your hands.
But you talked about how you liked being prepared, and yet you absolutely killed it.
It's
You
good
did.
for me.
I think
was good.
every time that you said something, I was like, yeah, that's good. I'm going to use that in a,
Yeah.
in a sermon
She was learning
someday.
to let go of control.
I am.
Letting go of control.
That's why all my analogies are about control. That's what the
you
Holy
just- the
Spirit's
Lord's
working on me
stirring.
about. Yeah.
Did you just
That's
make
good.
an illustration out of this podcast
That's right. Way to go, Isaac. You
Dude,
win.
I'm just in that mindset right now.
But thank you so much, and who knows, maybe you'll have to come on some other time once again
Fabulous.
because you killed it.
Okay.
So
Yep.
also, listeners, stay tuned. We have more episodes, more modern parables. So stay tuned.
Oh.